You back with another episode of Jay Will
and Jay Ward.
And we got a special guest. Go ahead and introduce a brother.
Sean Green. I know a lot of y'all know who he is. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Sean Green, right here, Rialto native, told business, also went to Fontana, proud of that as well. Just proud to represent the IE.
So, you went to Rialto and Fontana. So which one did you go to first? You went to Rialto High and then transferred to Fontana, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what year was that?
That was 02, right after the basketball season, literally a week after.
Yeah, I remember that too. I remember y'all transferred and you had a little squad over there.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know, most of our squad in Fontana that year, 03, a lot of players on that team was from Rialto. Trey, Daryl, me, JC, Ice Mike. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I think back then y'all was the bad boys of that league, of the CBL league, because we know when we played y'all, it was gonna be physical. Especially Ice Mike. I hated playing against him because he was super physical. Gave me a couple elbows.
Yeah.
Sean was a finesse one, coming off high, going to the hole. You know what I'm saying? So who was your favorite player to play with, and your most hated player to play against? Who do you hate playing against?
I was telling Jay Will pre-production, I hate to play against Donovan Morris. He was pretty complete on all levels, so it was kind of hard to, dial in on, his offensive weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and he had the size. You know what I mean? For especially a guard in high school. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and he had the athleticism. Because that was usually my one-up on people, was my athleticism.
Yeah.
Couldn't really do that with Donovan, especially when he had the size too. You know what I'm saying? So, I would say that.
Okay. And favorite.
This is a little before our era, but it's your ilk, the AB side. My favorite player was Chris Vernon.
Okay, Chris Vernon. Okay,
yeah.
Point guard.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's anyone that know me know I like to give out flashy dimes here and there, and that's all because of Magic Johnson tapes that my dad used to put me on, and Chris Vernon, literally.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's respect right there too.
Yeah.
So let's go back. Let's rewind a little bit. Tell us about your basketball history.
Well, I started playing basketball about 6, 7 years old. Just really loved the game. My dad just always had sports on. He used to even, I credit him a lot to my sports knowledge, because after homework or whatever, he would give me extra homework about sports stuff. You know what I mean? And he would give me little pamphlets. It was basically little stuff out of magazine type things. It's basically like a Wikipedia on paper before Wikipedia. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I would just read. I would have to read it, and then he would test me on, make sure there was stuff in there, so he knew if I read it or not. You know what I mean? So So I credit a lot of that to him. You know what I mean? So, my bad. I lost track of the question.
The basketball history.
Basketball history. That's right.
We getting old. We getting old. I'll be sometimes talking about something like, dang, what was I talking about?
Real talk. So and then the next thing, another IE pillar was my first time playing basketball was at the Johnson Center. You know what I mean? And that's one of my shorts too. So check them out.
Okay, wait. Let me stop right there. Hold on. Keep that thought. Johnson Center. We gotta get up to Johnson Center.
Yeah.
Because that was the mecca of basketball
for
out
area.
here in this area.
Yeah.
If you didn't play at the Johnson Center,
You
you wasn't
play.
really a hooper like that. So the Johnson Center was kind of like the Rucker Park in New York.
Yeah.
Everybody played there since they was a kid. You play in the leagues, you go to the tournaments, and it was tough.
Yeah, it's tight in there.
It was super tight. People would come watch you play, and if you wasn't tough with people trash talking, you could still put buckets up.
That's
You
'cause
getting
you
clowned
feel
after
it.
the game.
Right.
You
It's like
feel it.
Duke Stadium in
Yeah.
a way, just in a community center.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I like when they first put that skyline up in there. Remember that? Before that, they didn't have the windows up there. And then one time I just walked in the gym ready for a game day, and I just seen a little skyline. I was like, oh, this is dope.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. As a kid, that was everything. You know what I mean?
You had Rockfish, NJB, But I think the big ones was Rockfish back then.
Right.
Rockfish tournaments. I remember Trevante Nelson, his dad.
Wow.
Remember that?
You going back?
Trevante Nelson, he was
You
hard.
going back?
Yeah. So yeah, Johnson Center, man, much love to y'all, man. Because of that, we Hoopers to this day. But go ahead with the history.
Right. So Johnson Center, and then just pretty much it was the Johnson Center for a while. You know what I mean? And that's how competitive it was. We didn't really have to leave. Everybody was there. You know what I mean? It was like I said, it was a melting pot. And then I worked my way to Rancho Bulls. I don't know if y'all familiar with Coach Ron Austin. He has a pretty solid program. Drew Holiday played for him, you know what I mean? Darren Collison played for him. I played with Darren Collison on the RC Bulls. Actually, he played up. He was always nice. You know what I mean? That might be one of my favorite players that I played with too. You know what I mean? Smart kid, and he's a cool guy. You know what I mean? You can never leave that out. You know what I mean? And that makes for a great teammate. You know what I mean? So he's definitely one of those players for me too on that end. But so I went to RC Bulls, and that was AAU. You know what I mean? Ira played on that team as well.
Ira Graham.
You got to play IBP?
Ira did. I was going to, but I played after.
Y'all was the rival AAU team then.
So when I went to, I didn't know too much about IEDP at that particular moment. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm just, all I knew was Rialto Johnson Center at that point. You know what I mean? Then moved to Rancho Bulls. Then after that, Ron only coached a certain level. So once we got to, I think it was 7th grade, he didn't coach anymore on that level. You know, it was all 6th grade and down. So we had to find a new team. But before, luckily, me and Daryl actually came too. Daryl Diggins came in on the RC Bulls as well. And me and him started balling. And ARC reached out to us, you know what I mean? And then ever since then, I played the rest of my travel career with ARC. So out of North Hollywood. So that was a tough drive.
Man, I bet.
Every week, you know what I mean? That's another shout out to my dad. Like we was talking before the show. All the travel and all that, like that's crazy. Like I'm forever in debt for my parents doing that. Like that's crazy. Like it's, man, like that's.
And you only understand it when you get to be a father and you got to do that same stuff. You're like, I really appreciate it. All them games y'all came to, everything you bought me, whether it was shoes, shirts, sacks, socks, all that.
And Shaqs.
The Shaq. Hey, I had a pair of Shaqs though.
Hey, I wanted the Elijah one, 34. Had another one in Walmart. I wanted those. I've never got. If they come out with those again, I'll probably just buy them to buy them. Just say I had them.
Right.
But go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
So that's
history.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. As far as the early beginnings of community center and travel ball type stuff, and then obviously like we touched on Rialto Fontana, and actually I had a daughter literally a few months after high school. You know what I mean? My girl, she was pregnant literally in high school, so I stopped playing basketball. I know people say don't live with regret, but I don't mind living with regret. I do regret that, but at the same time, not regret having a kid, but I regret stop playing basketball. Let me make that clear. You know what I mean? Because we only, to our knowledge, we only have this life one time. You know what I mean? And especially as a young person with young body, young legs. So I regret that, but at the same time, I want to put this out to my daughter because she's the first person that was born. So it's not her fault, you know what I mean? This is definitely, something that, it was on me. But so I stopped playing basketball, man, for almost 5 years. And then I went back to school in Washington. Ira was a main person who told me, he was out there hooping.
Western Washington.
And he was like, man, just come out here, bro, and hoop, try out for the team, make it, you know what I'm saying? And so I just went out to the local CC out there and easily made it. To me, I was the best player on the team, you know what I mean? But the school and the system, well, not the school's fine, the system on basketball, it just wasn't a fit for me. And I kind of lost the love of basketball.
I could see that because they were in the GNAC, and the GNAC is more of we're in that area of basketball, Washington. It's more of like more fundamental, more like a community-bred town. I think, me personally, remember your game. I think you would have did better in down here, going to Dominguez, super athletic, because the CC2A super athletic, and they play different than GNAC players. So it just depends on the player where you go, where you gonna do your thing at. Just like Harden, he was still in Oklahoma. He wasn't the Harden is today. He had to go to another team in order to do his thing.
Yeah. But see, and let's touch on that. Let's park it here for a second, because this is the message that I tell the young kids. When you're thinking about a college to go to, and you actually want to play, so here's the thing, right? I'm gonna say two things. When you want to play collegiately, right? There is systems that are in place in most colleges. You have to do your own research and figure out what system you want to play in. If you're more of an up and down player, you can't go to a team that's going to have you playing in the half court and their main focus is the half court stuff. It's not going to be a fit for you, and you're going to get trapped. And if you're not doing what the coach feels you need to do in his system, he'll just pull the next guy's going to do what he wants the guy to do.
No matter what your talent is.
It doesn't matter. You can be better than him, but if he's more suited for his system, stuff happens.
And I was just going to say that there was conversations where it was tough. I didn't even want to be out there anymore, right? And the coach was talking to my dad one time right there in his office, and I was right there. He was even telling me he's the best player in the league. You know what I mean? But still, we had to cater to that style of his program, which was fine. You know what I mean? Because that's his program.
Yeah,
but
like you said, but
I hate that.
I hate it
I
too.
do too.
But like you said, you have to take the honest research, you know, and take, you know, people take this, you know, these college trips and strategies lightly. You know what I mean? They just think it's gonna come to them. You know, that's why I was naive. That's how I thought. You know what I mean? I didn't do my research. You know what I mean? And I come from, like I said, my dad made me research, and I still didn't research. So that tells you got to be on you. Unless you're the top percent hooper, you got to be on your research and for what best fits you.
But for education, to style of play, to who's actually coaching there and everything.
Even if you have to go the harder route
to get there.
Yes.
A lot of players did that too, hard route, and then circle around, go back around. Okay, we're gonna switch to another. Subject.
Is that bothering
And I was like, come on, man, you don't do that on Trucker Property.
Hey, you're not gonna shut it off? You ain't gonna turn it down, bro?
Right, something.